Good morning and welcome back to the Bus Stop Banter. We are only a couple days away from kids starting summer break. Some of you are already on summer break, so we thought we would talk about an important topic, which is summer safety tips for kids. So the very first one we're going to talk about is probably the most important, and that's water safety. So why is this an important topic to discuss today, Brax?
Because you don't want your kid going into a pool or lake or whatever and not know how to swim or not be the best swimmer.
Yep. And don't ever swim alone, because even if they're a strong swimmer, there can be a lot of things that go wrong. They get a cramp. They, heaven forbid, they hit their head if they're swimming. It's really, really important that you're basically using the buddy system when you're swimming. A lot of times during the summer, kids are going to friends' pools, neighbors' pools, families' pools, lakes, etc. It's really important that if you don't know how to swim, to be wearing a safety vest, making sure that you are prepared for anything. The other really important thing that I like to touch on is wearing very bright, vibrant swimsuits, swim trunks, because if you're wearing a green or a blue, and let's say you're in the lake or you're in a pool that has a blue liner, it's going to be really hard to see you if you're struggling in the water. So wearing something that's bright, that allows people to see you if you are struggling, or if something, heaven forbid, happens, is really, really important for safety. So never swim alone. Wear a life vest when appropriate. Know your limits. If you don't feel like you're a good swimmer, don't even risk it, right? Make sure there's an adult there. You're a pretty strong swimmer, but I would never let your brother swim by himself. I would never let you swim by yourself either, but you know what I mean? Yeah. And scream for help. If there's something that's wrong, something's not feeling right, always, always scream for help. So swim safety, very, very important. The next thing is sun safety. What do you think I mean, or what we mean by that?
Sunscreen.
Yeah, so sunscreen's really, really important. Making sure that you are lathering that up everywhere, your face, your ears, your neck, shoulders, arms, legs, everything, any kind of skin that is exposed, making sure that you have sunscreen on, because we know sunburns suck, right? Your brother recently got a sunburn. He peeled for days. It's not fun. It's miserable. I made the mistake last summer, being my first summer without hair, to not put sunscreen on when we were out in the lake. Do you remember what happened? My head got fried. And it didn't occur to me, because I've had hair on my head for 38 years, that when I lost my hair due to chemo, I didn't put sunscreen on my head. And I remember getting in the car and I was like, man, my head is really hot. It fried. So any skin that is exposed, make sure you put SPF 40, 50 plus on, especially if you're a kid. It's not cool being tan because you got burnt. Put sunscreen on. You don't have to put aloe and be uncomfortable after the fact. Bike, scooter, and skateboard safety. What's the number one thing you need when you are doing those activities?
Wear a helmet. Wear shoes.
Yep. Definitely wear a helmet. It has come in handy more times than not, especially with your brother. He was in a bike accident, 3 years ago?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. So he was avoiding a car, hit another car that was parked, or a camper, and he had his helmet on, but his face hit a screw on a light, right?
Yeah, like snapped.
On the camper light. Yeah. And he had his helmet on, so he didn't have a lot of injuries here, but he did have a gash here that required stitches. Could have been a lot worse had he not been wearing his helmet. And then this past Sunday, he also fell off of his bike. Didn't have any other injuries other than a mark on his stomach from the handlebar, which was still pretty bad. It's pretty bruised and pretty cut up. Helmets are very, very important. Make sure you wear your helmets. Make sure if you are on a skateboard or rollerblading, I think elbow pads and knee pads, like those things are all super, super important. When you're riding your bike, make sure you're sticking to one side of the road. Beckett is very known for going like this down the middle of our road. And like I mentioned earlier this week, we're having a bunch of construction in our neighborhood. So right now, riding bikes is a no-no unless mom and dad are home or we're watching you, because there's a lot of big trucks going around right now.
Yeah, I know. It's super annoying.
Yeah, everywhere. And then for those that are older, when you're on your bikes, using your hands as turn signals. So if you're turning onto it, you probably don't know this, but like if you're turning right, you put your arm out right. Or if you're turning left. especially if you're on busy roads. So make sure that you have a helmet that protects your noggin, because that's really, really important. Next one, this is a really important one, I think, too. So we talked about sun safety. The other one is sports safety. So what do you do before every baseball game or any kind of sport that you should be doing?
Sunscreen, stretching.
Stretching is really, really important, right? Because you don't want to pull a muscle, get hurt. You have a lot of friends that are coming off of injuries, currently have injuries. What are some of the most common sports or injuries that you're seeing right now?
A lot of kids pulling a muscle or something in their leg.
Yep.
Or arm when they like go to throw a baseball or football or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really important. He's got a lot of buddies that have had stress fractures. So making sure you're stretching. I try to encourage our kids before their baseball games and basketball games to stretch, get your muscles warmed up, jog in place, etc., etc. The other big thing, especially because it's so hot, what is the number one thing you guys should be doing?
Oh, water.
Because there's been times, more often than not, even this season already, where we're having kids that are overheating.
I had a friend on my travel team that got overheated yesterday, and he had to sit out for a little bit during practice.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with like our catchers in baseball because of all the extra equipment.
Yeah.
Our pitchers, remember when Braden was pitching for the Growlers, we had to keep. He was hot that Sunday.
I remember Asher getting overheated.
Yeah, so making sure that you're drinking water, because if you're not drinking water, it leads to headaches, it can lead to dizziness, lightheadedness, all of those things. So drink up, get electrolytes. I know Braxton likes the liquid IV stuff that he puts in his water, so we try to make sure that our kids have the electrolytes, they have Gatorade, they have the things to keep them hydrated, and we bring a cooler. Correct. The other thing that we do is a cooling towel.
Yeah.
So the cooling towel, making sure, we have it in a bag with cold water, so that's hot, they can put it around their necks, cool themselves down. Those are all very, very important. If you are feeling lightheaded, dizzy, what have you, tell an adult right away, your coach, your parent, what have you, because you need to sit down and recover, because we don't want them passing out, etc. So heat right now, you have hair right in your eyebrow. Making sure that you're staying hydrated, but also having that cooling towel to keep you nice and cool. This is a really big one. We've had some issues in our neighborhood about stranger safety. Do you want to talk about kind of what that means, and you want to share that incident that we had a couple months ago?
Which incident?
When Jen was home.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you talk about that and how you realized that there was something fishy about that?
So, neighborhood safety is a big thing. Like when you're a kid out playing,
walking back from the bus stop, walking to the bus stop.
Yeah, lots of things. And someone like pulls up by you and then just stops, or asks for you to get into the car or something.
Asks you weird questions. I mean, anyone that is talking to you, an adult shouldn't be talking to you, unless it's someone that you know. So Braxton had an incident a couple months ago where there was a gentleman that was driving very slowly by him, trying to talk to him. You didn't know this guy, and they were acting really suspicious. So in this instance, Braxton relied on a neighbor who was home because he didn't want this person to know where he lived.
Yeah, I was getting the mail. Like, I was walking back from the bus stop getting the mail, and I saw like a car come up, and then he like stopped, rolled down his window, and they started saying stuff. I couldn't really understand what he was saying. And then he started walking very, very slowly, and he basically just started following me like really slowly. So and then I saw my neighbor who was like, cause
she was watching, she thought it felt off as well, and immediately called him over, and then we were notified, and we did the things that we need to do. But there's been times we've had to call the cops before, because there's just people that are constantly in this neighborhood. It's full of kids.
Also speeding,
that's another really big thing. So that's different from the stranger safety. But when your kids are biking or playing basketball, if there's a ball that goes into the road, with all these big trucks that we have right now, and part of our road and neighborhood being shut down, we're having a lot of cars zooming through our neighborhood. And you guys know that Beck is deaf, so it's a lot harder for him because it's louder, and people aren't paying attention. So we have multiple signs up. We've had to call the township to have somebody come sit out here because it's a huge issue. And every single day I hear my kids screaming, slow down, because Adam and myself and my husband and our friends in the neighborhood have had to yell at cars to slow down because they are zooming through. So safety is really, really important as far as stranger danger. So trusting your instincts, walking with groups. Like if you go for a bike ride or a walk, you're usually with a group of friends, right? It's safety in numbers. Don't go out late at night by yourself. I mean, it's a lot of these things, right? If you're outside at night, make sure you have some kind of light on. I know when I'm running at night, I have lights on, whether it's a headlamp or full body vest or what have you. So another couple of things for takeaway. Also, the other really big thing that we've established with our kids, and I didn't even think about this until just now, is establishing a safe word. We're not going to say our safe word, but remember when we told you that if somebody comes to grab you and they're like, hey, mom and dad want me to grab you, there's a safe word that you have to say, right? And if they don't know that safe word, you don't go with them, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. And so we established this. It's a wild word. No one's just going to guess it, okay?
Random.
But I really encourage you guys to do that with your kids. So use a word. So if somebody were to come by the house or come by to pick them up for school or what have you, like, hey, mom and dad, there's an emergency, we got to pick you up. If they don't know that safe word, you are not going with them, period, right? So establish that safe word. There's only a select few people that should know that safe word, meaning grandparents, someone that's going to be picking them up, and they can change, right? Like we haven't had to change ours because we haven't had an incident. But if we had to use that safe word, we would change the safe word. So that's another really big one for stranger danger. If someone's like, hey, mom and dad, mom's in the hospital, dad said to come get you. If they don't know that word, you're not going anywhere with them. Our kids both obviously have watches, and there's a landline as well. So they have a lot of different means of communication. Also very, very important, being able to allow them to call for help. So if something happens outside or if I'm inside and whatever, they can scream for me, they can call me from their watches, they can call 911, etc. So making sure they have those tools to be able to reach out, but also that safety word is very, very important. Internet and gaming safety. We've talked about this before, right? Remember the game that a lot of your friends are playing, Epstein's Island or whatever it's called?
Oh, yeah.
But we know that there are games that predators will use to target children, okay? So if you're online and there's people that are reaching out to you, we have to be very mindful of that, right? Not giving out names, addresses, don't sending pictures, because oftentimes predators find people online. So whether it is, what games do you guys play? That Minecraft, right? Can't people like reach out in Minecraft?
Not really.
I think you can. Either way,
unless they're in one of your
never
worlds.
share your address, your school, pictures, any personal information about yourself. If it is not a friend that is reaching out to you within a game, and it is somebody that you do not know, let a parent know, ignore them, report them. I had an incident with a coworker whose child was being reached out to, not through gaming, but through Snapchat. And this person was a sexual predator out of Indiana that was targeting my coworker's daughter. And the FBI got involved. And luckily, everything was fine and this person was caught. But be very mindful of that. And it's not just gaming. It is on your cell phones. It is Snapchat. It is TikTok. It is all the things. And maybe it was TikTok. I don't remember. But make sure you guys are checking your children's devices. Make sure you aren't adding random people on your phone, gaming systems, etc. Because it can get really, really scary when you have somebody reaching out to you that you don't know that is asking for personal information. Right? All right, last topic, home alone safety. So we kind of alluded a little bit to this. So you know who to call in an emergency. You have phone or numbers programmed into the home phone. You know that you can go to the neighbors, but making sure that there is a home safety plan. If you guys are home alone, doors are locked, right? We have a Ring camera. If somebody comes up to the door, I can answer it virtually through my phone. Know your emergency contacts. So, you know, in our phone, there's a list of phone numbers, including neighbors, that you guys can call if something's wrong. Knowing your address, what you should do if someone knocks on the door. So what are some of the things that we've instilled in you guys to prepare you if you guys are home alone?
ever answer the door to someone that,
Don't know.
don't know. Don't walk outside at all. If they do get into the house, try to like run to a neighbor's house. Like,
or a backyard somewhere where it's gonna confuse somebody where they can't find you.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that it does end up being Amazon or something, but there's a person that gets out of a car and like walks up to the front door.
Yeah, and some of these Amazon drivers don't have any Amazon gear on, so that gets really confusing. But there have been people that have been known to dress up like a worker of some sort, meter readers, Amazon people, what have you, and they're not. They're just checking to see who's home and what they can do.
Yeah, and I've had my knife. Like, I will literally grab like my pocket knife from my room when there has been a person like walk up to the door and deliver a package because they're not.
Luckily, we have 2 dogs that are pretty ferocious that deters a lot of people. But yeah, making sure that you are being super safe when you're home. We have a thing that they can use for choking that's out whenever they're home. And they know where it is even when we are home. We keep it in the same spot. So it's a apparatus that helps with choking. We make sure that, if they're making something, that they're not having to use a lot of like the stove or things that can cause issues. The only one that is allowed to use the stove is Brax at this point, and he doesn't use it very often, but he knows how to use it, knows how to turn it on and off. And so we teach them a lot of those things. Anything else that I didn't mention as far as like summer safety? We covered pool, sunscreen, helmets, stranger danger. We covered a lot of things.
There's always like a whole bunch of other stuff to cover, like maybe if you're camping or something and you're being chased by a pack of rabid wolves or something, I don't know.
Maybe that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know a lot of kids are getting ready to start their summer vacation. So these were some things that we thought would be really helpful. This episode might be really important for your kids to watch as just kind of a reminder of how to be safe, taking care of yourself, and making sure that nothing happens that's not good. So anyways, happy last couple days of the school year. If you are already on summer vacation, congratulations. For those that only have a couple more days, hang in there, you're almost there. We will be back tomorrow on another episode of the Bus Stop Banter.